people gave us such incredible feedback. And there were some national publications there as well. So, and they gave us great feedback. So people the film was well received. They said it was of high quality. They just thought it was amazing. It was a beautiful time.
Welcome to The Talk Chamber, a production of the Greater Memphis Chamber. The Talk Chamber is the podcast for the latest on the Chamber, economic development, and all things Memphis. This mic is powered by OrthoSouth, world-class orthopedic care across the Mid-South. Today's episode features Princeton James, the producer, director, writer, actor, man of many talents. Princeton, thank you so much for coming on The Talk Chamber.
No, thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
I am very excited to talk about the film industry and your work and what you do. Entertainment is a key part of our lives just in general. And so I love to really understand those stories and what they mean. So thank you.
No, thank you for having me. Really happy to be here.
Okay, let's start off.
Okay.
How did you first get into the film industry?
Ooh, so I have to tell a little bit of backstory about my background. So I'm from Coldwater, Mississippi. When I was in third grade, I told the teacher I wanted to be an actor. She said, be realistic, you're going to be an accountant. So I got my degree in accounting because of what she told me. And after that, I just couldn't live with it anymore. So I went to an acting class in Memphis. A year later, I moved to Atlanta, started acting there, and God gave me this vision of a stage play. And I went to church and the preacher said, people will suffer if you don't operate in your gift. So I quit my job that Tuesday, moved back to Memphis, and that's how I got into writing, producing, and directing in the industry. So it was definitely the passion and the ignition of the teacher telling me to be realistic and me believing that I was going to be an accountant. But life has a way of navigating you back to your purpose. So I would say God brought me into the film industry, and being able to become an actor and the transition out of my job really was the momentum that helped me to produce, write, and direct. So,
when you were a kid, were you involved in theater or anything like that?
No.
Or was this an adulthood?
Yes.
That's wow.
I did. I'm from Coldwater, Mississippi, where the population is maybe 1,600 people. So I graduated with 76 people. I knew all my classmates' parents. It was very small, but it was beautiful. But we didn't have any only thing we had was band and church.
Wow.
Those are the only two places that you had any type of creative outlet. But outside of that, I never knew what a script looked like until I was out of college.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
That's
right?
crazy.
Yeah.
And here you are now.
So grateful.
Brings me kind of to the next thing I want to talk about. You've got a company.
Yes.
What is it? Tell us about it.
Yeah, so it's called Princeton James Productions. We have 3 different facets. So we have theater, and right now we're touring an experience called the Soulful Murder Mystery Dinner Theater. And it's like if an escape room in a dinner theater had a baby with some incredible food, it'd be our Soulful Murder Mystery. So that's the theater portion. The film portion is Gravity Productions. So myself and 3 other business partners, we have a film production company. So we produced 5 feature films in the last 3.5 years. And we actually, one of the films, I know we'll get to it later, it was at ABFF, which is American Black Film Festival. But another film that we did, it actually comes out in select theaters August 14th this year. And it's called Elijah Peel.
Yes, I've read about it.
Yeah, it's a great one. So that's the film portion of the company. And then also the one that's closest to my heart is The Cooler and the Cooler Kids Performing Arts Enrichment Program. So it's a program where we use the art as a vehicle to teach kids enrichment tools and life skills that can help them in any career they choose to go into. So we've been able to touch and impact about 20,000 kids in the last 5 years. And we're excited to continue to create an avenue for these young people to not be able to have the same testimony I did, and at least have the opportunity to experience the arts and to become better people through the arts.
That's awesome. I think creativity I think we all have it.
Yeah, we
and
do.
Especially at that young age, I think it's really important to
Absolutely
feed that outlet and feed that part of you to understand your creativity and explore what you can do and what kind of gifts and talents you have.
Yes, because it's a developmental part of you when you, as a young person growing up, you have a developmental period that kind of is molding you into who you would become as a person. And art is so influential in that specific period in your life. Art is influential throughout your entire life, but especially as a child.
Yeah, and that's just so cool. And this business is of yours. How long have you been Princeton James Productions.
You know, the fun thing is it's 10 years this year, and we're having our 10-year anniversary this year, July 17th through the 19th.
Oh my gosh,
Of the 3-day
congratulations.
weekend. Thank you so much. So it'll be 10 years this summer, and it's been a roller coaster of things, but most of all, I'm grateful to serve the vision that God gave me.
That's awesome.
Yes.
So talking about your work and the projects that you've worked on, what are some of those projects? You mentioned Elijah Peel, but I know there's so many. So just share a favorite or one that was impactful, whatever.
So I was working on a lot of like independent movies, short films. Even as an actor, I worked on tons of them. I was just in whatever could come. But if we're talking about film specifically, the first film that I worked on behind the scenes was Uncorked, a Netflix movie.
I've seen that.
Yeah, thank you for
love
watching that. And I actually auditioned for a role while I was working behind the scenes. And I ended up being in the movie. So that project was definitely impactful to my life because Apprentice Penny is an incredible director, writer, producer, showrunner. And just to be able to see a Black man be able to like direct a set and do so many incredible things, it was just very inspiring. So that was a project that really, really inspired me. Of course, working on Bluff City Law, I was Jimmy Smith's personal assistant on that show. So that was incredible.
That's cool.
Yeah, because to spend 10 months with him, and he's one of the best humans I've ever met in my life, as well as Prentice is. So that was incredible because I was able to see all of the workings of a television show. And then there was another project, Young Rock. I was a showrunner's assistant on that and working with Nanashka Khan and Jeff and Jen and so many other people, but they were the showrunners of it. So I was their assistant, and it was they were just such incredible people and just taught me a lot and pulled me aside and allowed me to be a part of every single meeting that they were in or however. And they were just very, very flexible, humble, and still incredibly talented people. And then like every project I work on with Gravity Productions, like from Queen Rising was the first one we did. Out the Gate was incredible. That was my directorial debut in a feature.
Really?
Yeah, it was. And it was hard, but it was incredible just to see our communities come together because that was one of the first times like the film community was like kind of divided in a way, but that was one of the first times that a lot of people from the film community came together and produced an independent project. And yeah, so it was incredible. And shout out to Henry Reeves. That was his movie. And then after that, we worked on For the Love of Christopher and Elijah Peel and Hoop Street was that was my second director role on a feature film. And that's the one that went to American Black Film Festival. And shout out to Teresa Dickerson and the entire cast and crew for that as well.
2 quick rabbit trails.
Yeah.
Fun fact, I was on an episode of Bluff City Law.
Really? Really? Do you remember what episode?
I cannot remember the name of the episode, and you couldn't even see me in it. I was a student, and I was walking by.
Oh, that's awesome. Did you have a fun time?
It was awesome. It was such a great
we were
great time.
on set together.
I was going to say, we definitely crossed paths, but...
Where did they shoot? Where do you remember?
It was at this church, and there was a hallway, and we were supposed to be like college-age students walking through...
Really?
Walking down a hall after class.
Which church it was? Probably not. It was a while ago.
It was a while ago. I've for a long time I've driven by this one church and I'm like, is that
the church? Yeah.
I can't remember.
But it was like 7 years ago.
Right.
So that was a long time ago. That's awesome. So we were probably on set together. We just did not know each other. But yeah, Bluff City Law was cool.
Queen's Rising. I went and saw that in theaters.
Really?
Brought my best friend to it. Still have my ticket stub. I loved it.
Really? Thank you.
Yes, I did.
I was so like grateful to steward that project. It was one of the first ones. I cut my director teeth on that project. So it was a lot of fun and also very, very challenging. So thank you so much. I'm happy you enjoyed it.
No, of course. I did. I brought my best friend. We both really liked it. I think I saw something on TikTok maybe about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this looks interesting.
Yeah.
Unbeknownst to me, I didn't understand the Memphis connection. It just looked interesting. And so I was like, sure, let's watch this.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We really appreciate you watching it. It was a great watch. I still enjoy watching it whenever I get a chance to show it to people. But yes, thank you so much for going to see it.
Of course.
Yeah.
So shifting just a bit to talk about the American Black Film Festival. You just got back. That was maybe last week, 2 weeks ago?
I just got back 2 days ago.
Wow. Okay, tell us what happened there.
American Black Film Festival. So Let me just say, so it was probably one of the best film festivals I've ever attended in my life, and I've been to a lot of film festivals. It was just so beautiful, and as a Black writer, director, producer, it was just so beautiful to see so many Black stories be told at a high level, and also to see such a well-produced festival. Everybody was there too. It was like Black Hollywood was there the entire time, and and sometimes you have you been to a film festival before?
I have not.
Okay, so when you go, sometimes festivals will have so many things going on to where you're like, "Oh my god, there's 4 things going on at the same time, I can't do it." They had a lot going on, but it wasn't overloading to where you missed a lot.
Mm.
And when they did have things going on, it was always well produced, it was high talent, it was quality, and it was much like a family reunion meets a film festival, because everybody if you meet someone on a Thursday, on Friday, they're your cousin, on Saturday, they're your best friend, by Sunday, you guys are asking about each other's parents or finding out how we can all meet up on group trips or whatever. It was just such an incredible vibe. I cannot speak how much I am grateful that we were able to take Hoop Street down there. And Teresa Dickerson, she's the writer, executive producer of Hoop Street, who is a Black woman from Memphis. And she actually saved up her own money to produce this film. And there were so many, like, there were veteran actors in it, but there were also a lot of first time actors in it. It was just an incredible, incredible time. I'm so happy I went, and I probably won't miss it again. I won't miss it because it's just such a great time.
So your Hoop Street.
Yes.
Tell us how did that film end up being part of the festival, and what
Yeah.
was the reaction to
Oh,
it?
thank you for that question. So Teresa submitted the film. So when you do film festivals, you just have to submit the film, and then they go through this selection process, and it's very competitive whenever they're big festivals, and this is one of the largest in the country.
Mhm.
So when she got in, she called me screaming, and I was screaming, and we were so excited. So we all got together, and we were like, we're going to go. And it was probably close to like 30 to 40 Memphians in Miami this past weekend. It was a lot of Memphians in Miami. And when we went down there, the theater was so packed for our film that myself and the other producers had to give up our seats. And then some of the cast members had to give up their seats. And we still had to turn away like 10 to 12 people that
Wow.
could not come in. Even my family that flew in to surprise me could not get into the theater because we had already given up all of our seats. But they were all fine. They left and they came back because they'd seen the movie already. And they went and grabbed a drink, came back, but then we did the talk back, and people gave us such incredible feedback. And there were some national publications there as well. So, and they gave us great feedback. So people the film was well received. They said it was of high quality. They just thought it was amazing. It was a beautiful time.
That is awesome.
Yes.
I would hate to be the family member, but at the same
I
time,
know.
I would be so proud that I got turned away because
Yeah. Yeah.
so many people wanted to be in there.
Yes, I was so excited to see them and for them to come down there and make that sacrifice to get down there. And they were very proud too. They were happy to leave. They were like, "Oh, okay, it's fine. Like we've seen the movie twice, so it's fine." So yeah, it was a great time. I would highly recommend anyone to go to ABFF, which is the American Black Film Festival, and shout out to the entire team down there that creates and curates that festival because it was amazing.
So when you went to this festival, you showed Hoop Street, you got feedback.
Mhm.
What's something that you took away and plan to bring back to your work here and what you're doing in your next projects?
You know, what I took away from that festival is family producing high quality industry level productions and momentum.
Mm.
I feel as though there was a momentum in the atmosphere down there that we could really, really use in Memphis because Memphis already has the talent. We have the people, amazing stories and culture. We just can go on and on in so many different directions with that. And what I'm bringing back is the high level of quality industry professional production, and then the momentum to go ahead and get some things done now, and the knowledge. So I made a lot of contacts, created a lot of connections that are willing to actually come and pour into Memphis, even if it's like relationships or knowledge or wisdom or any of that. I was able to get a lot of yeses to come back here and able to support our industry.
That is good news as a native Memphian. I love to
Yeah.
hear when people want to pour back into Memphis, whether they've lived here or not.
Yes.
People who are like, this is
This is
place
fertile ground.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
it is.
And you just knew this was coming. A really great segue into talking about the industry as a whole.
Yeah.
And in Memphis in particular.
Yeah.
So what impact does the film industry have on Memphis, both economically speaking and culturally?
Oh, I think the impact that the film industry has on Memphis, economically and culturally. So I want to talk about it in two things. I want to talk about it one end. I think that it has an incredible impact on Memphis. I think the past films and television shows that have come here have poured like millions and millions of dollars into this space and into our economy. When we have a show here, it was like $50-60 million at once. I think there is a high potential to have more consistent projects here when they are homegrown. Like, because there is a different type of investment that we have with Memphis whenever creatives that have some type of grounding or some type of emotional connection or some type of investment to want to see this place go be greater in a more healthy economy. And I think that that speaks to the potential. And I think that with the right investment and with the right partners and convening and the strategy, I think that we have no problem. It's nothing that's going to come in the way of us having a consistent and viable creative economy here, specifically for the television and film industry. So I don't think there's anything in our way, and I think that there's a huge potential for us to have an even healthier relationship with the film industry and specifically in Memphis.
That's awesome. I think, like I discussed, entertainment is a key part of, live, work, play.
Yeah.
And we need that kind of entertainment. And in our city, we need people who, create music, create movies, create TV shows. And even though it's not just for Memphis people.
Yeah.
It's the fact that it's here.
Yes.
It's filming in our locations.
Yep.
It's using our people.
Yep.
It's telling our stories.
Yes.
And as you said, we've got a lot of them.
We got a lot of them, and they need to come from us. They need to come from our lens. And it's not saying, I think other people can contribute to like storytelling and all those things, but I think like for it to be authentic and for it to like reach the masses, I think it's important for us to be able to tell our own stories because we have the lived experience, and there's so much culture here. Yeah.
And we understand the city.
We understand the city.
And, making something authentic and real.
Yeah.
Art imitates our lives. That's how the storytelling and creativity often works.
It is.
And I think having a Memphian, having our people share that story can help bring it to life.
Yes, I think so. And I think it's also important to speak to the authenticity of when things come from an organic lens of someone who's had this lived experience, right? So, and then like when people see it and they receive it and consume it, they don't have to be a Memphian to be able to relate to it. Like art is so relatable in ways to where people can feel each other's pain, joy, love, affection, growth, all that just by experiencing something. But when it comes from an authentic place, I think it's consumed even better and it spreads even wider, which helps our film industry become even more profitable. So I think it's going to be insanely important and imperative that we tell our stories. And at this time, the time is now.
I mean, you think about people when they say, man, that movie made me cry.
Yeah, exactly.
It might not have any real connection. It might not be a story they'd ever heard before or had any similarities to, but there was something about the emotion that the characters were experiencing or the way in which it was told that pulled on the heartstrings and made them really connect with it. And now that's somebody's favorite movie.
That is, because it doesn't matter what color, your background, your religion, any of that. If someone loses a parent or a child, it's, somebody can relate to that. And I think that we have so many stories and so many nuances here in this city and here in this culture. And then we have so many layers. We have a church layer, a music layer, an agriculture layer, or a city layer, a governmental layer. There's just so many layers of stories that we can tell. And there's just so many ways that we will build this industry.
So let's talk about the building part.
Yes.
Oftentimes when you are trying to build something, You run into an obstacle, a problem or
Absolutely.
two.
Yeah.
Are you seeing any obstacles or challenges right now in the industry,
Ooh.
particularly in Memphis?
Yeah, I see some, and I also try to look at those as obstacles as opportunities.
Mm.
So I look at them as opportunities to grow and opportunities to re-navigate to get to the goal. So yes, I do. I think that there are some people, that need to shift. I also think that there are organizations that is important to get an investment from. I also think that there is a strategy that not only needs to be built within, but that needs to be built with partners that have also been successful in the film industry. Because there's no need of us creating, like, we don't have to recreate the wheel. We just create our version of the wheel
Mhm.
based on gathering data and research and information based on like people who have been successful in this industry. So I think that there are obstacles, but I look at them as opportunities, and all those opportunities can be well, all those obstacles can be overcome when we get the proper investment, get the right infrastructure and the right training, and build a pipeline so that the industry doesn't die whenever people who are operating in it goes away. So I think that we have what it takes, and we're getting there day by day.
So next question.
Mhm.
How can the business community help,
Yeah,
take those opportunities
yeah.
and capitalize on them?
I think if the business community realizes how valuable the film industry is can be to their business, I think that they would put even more investment and open their doors to more films coming in and shooting there and even like advocating for more films to be in the industry. Filmmaking is one of those industries where we are not one dimensional at all.
No.
It includes so many. It takes so many businesses in order to make a film, make a movie, make a television show, and so on and so on. For instance, the cast and crew has to eat every day. If we have people coming to town, they have to use the hotels. If we have people in wardrobe, we have to go buy clothes and patronize local businesses. If we have like, all of these different props and things, we have to shoot on location. So that means people's businesses will be on the film as a restaurant, as a lounge, as a church, and so on and so on and so on. And all of those things have a price attached to it. So there's so many industries that are impacted whenever the film industry is placed as a substantial component of a creative economy. So I think that like stepping up in a way in investment in accessibility, availability, and partnership, I think are ways that the businesses can contribute to helping push this film industry forward and helping us have more of a robust return on investment in the industry.
I think to your point, if you've brought people in, they're staying in our hotels, eating our food,
Yes.
depending on, how long they're here, at times they're probably experiencing more of our city,
Yeah.
visiting our parks,
Yes.
visiting our museums, or,
They are.
going places and doing things, and that just pours back into our city.
They are. And then think about if we put those same parks, those same museums, those same food places in the actual project. That means every eye that sees this project is getting exposed to this business or this landmark in this city, which helps. Like, when was the last time you seen a movie and was like, I want to go to that place?
Oh, all the
Every
time.
time.
All the
Well,
time.
I just want to go and take a picture there. I want to go see that. I want to go be. It's like, and if we think about it so many times, like, there's so many TV shows, what color the couch is, what their diner is, it's just so many
Mhm.
things. So that's another. I just know that whenever there's a return on investment in film, there's always another business that is successful as a reaction to that film being successful.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Last question, our time is almost up,
Okay.
and it's just where do you see Memphis in the next 5 years, or what do you hope that industry will look like in Memphis?
I see us having a very robust film and television industry, and I see us assessing the capacity of what we have here and making sure that that capacity is reached and creating a strategy while we're reaching that capacity to grow capacity. So I just feel like there will be certain investors that will see it as a viable industry that will invest. I can see us growing even more creative industry professionals here that can be able to not only create here, but stay here and create here and work here. And I can also see us building we will build a pipeline of artists that will come behind us. So where these young people will be able to have an outlet and different opportunities to tell their own stories and to work on them and work in hair and makeup and costume and set design and writing, directing, and producing and camera and lights and electricity, all that stuff. I just think that we will have a robust pipeline as well to be able to sustain the industry as it's going.
Mm. Princeton, thank you so much for coming on this episode.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of The Talk Chamber. We are so glad you're here with us. Today, Princeton shared with us about the film industry in Memphis, what that looks like, and the hope that we have for the future. What our film industry is going to grow into with hard work, dedication, and the talent that we have right here in this city. If you enjoyed this episode or learned a valuable piece of information, share this episode with a friend, maybe even a colleague. Subscribe to The Talk Chamber to keep up with the latest on the chamber, economic development, and all things Memphis. Follow us on social media at Memphis Chamber, and we'll see you next time.